Hi, I'm Dr. Gwen, and my channel is all about empowering the neurodiverse community. In this episode, Luna Nombrano Larsen comes onto the show to tell us about her program and how it aims to provide additional services and supports for autistic college students at Cal Poly San Luis Obispo. We touch upon the deep need for belonging and that everyone needs a place where they are safe, seen, and appreciated for who they are. If you've ever questioned what accommodations are available in college, and by the way, there's not that many, or what additional services and supports that could be helpful for you or a college student that you know, stay tuned. Welcome to the show, everyone. I am so excited to welcome Luna Nombrano Larsen, director of the, and I'm going to get this right, Luna, Empowering Autistic Scholars Mentoring and Research Training Program at Cal Poly San Luis Obispo. Hi, Luna. How are you?
Hi, I'm great. How are you doing? Thank you so much for having me on your podcast.
Yes, I'm so excited to have you on the podcast because the amount of feedback and information that I'm getting from our community is staggering in regards to supports in higher education when you are a neurodivergent student. So when a colleague of ours who is, I say, he's like the great connector to everything. I always say he's that exact Lego piece that you need, to finish something, connected me to you. And when we met and I found out about this program, it just really resonated because of how much I'd been hearing the difficulty of getting supports and accommodations at the collegiate level. So I'm so happy you're here, Luna. Maybe what we can do to start is for you to tell the audience a little bit about yourself.
Sure. So let's see. I am a proud autistic and dyslexic woman, late diagnosed. I didn't realize I was autistic until after my son was diagnosed, a little bit before age 2. And I really kind of understood a lot of the things that my son was going through, and I experienced a lot of the same things. And so it was easier for me to understand his needs that way. And so that kind of got me thinking about like, wow, like this is great because I can help him. But then it was kind of like, how do I know these things, and I was also doing a lot of research because of, unfortunately, when you have a child who's diagnosed autistic, you don't get a lot of resources. They kind of just said, all right, here's his diagnosis, go figure things out, and which was terrible. And so I had to do a lot of research. And I also started volunteering at our local autism center here in San Luis Obispo, and I got to meet a lot of wonderful families and some autistic parents of autistic kids. And so talking to them, it really just reinforced my idea that I might be autistic as well. And so that's kind of how I figured it out. I'm self-diagnosed. And everything just really clicked. I'd always grown up thinking like, am I an alien from another planet? Like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't fit in anywhere. I was constantly getting why can't you just be normal, from my own family? And I just didn't understand. I was like, well, why am I so different from everyone? And why is it so difficult for me to have relationships and to do these things that everyone else acts as if they're so easy? It's like, why can't I do that? And so that was really hard growing up that way, and um not knowing, not understanding myself. And so when I found out, I realized I was autistic, it was actually a huge relief. And I was so happy because then there was a community that I could be a part of. And I started talking to mostly people online, because I didn't connect with too many people here. I'm sure they're around. I just haven't been able to connect with them. But just finally to be accepted and not judged constantly, it was just wonderful. And it really helped for me to get that pride that I hadn't had. Like, I'm proud of a lot of the things that I've accomplished, and I'm proud of certain things, certain skills that I've had, and I've always been that way, but not necessarily proud of myself as a person. And so after realizing I'm part of this amazing community, then I was like, okay, you know what? I am proud of myself as a person. And yeah, so that was really, it was life-changing. Yeah, so I've become a neurodiversity advocate, and I'm been doing a lot of research to try and find ways to help other people so that they don't suffer the same things I suffered. Like when I went to undergrad, oh my gosh, it was so hard. There was no support, and I had imposter syndrome. And so I was afraid to even ask for help because I thought, if I ask for help, they're going to know I'm struggling. And then they're going to realize she shouldn't be here. And so we're just going to kick her out because she doesn't belong here, you know? And so it was hard. And I ended up having a breakdown, and I had to be hospitalized briefly. And it was a struggle. And I want to help other students so they don't have to deal with those things, that they have someone, at least one person who understands, that they can go to and ask questions and share what's going on and what's difficult, and know that somebody cares about them and actively wants to help them to be who they want to be, you know. And to help a lot of them have confidence issues as well, and imposter syndrome, and just to help them feel like that they are amazing people and they deserve to be successful in whatever way they choose. And another, of course, huge motivator for me to do all this work is my son, who's like my little shadow. We're buddies, as well as, you know, and I'm also his mom. So, but you know, I know there's a thing about like, oh, you shouldn't be friends with your kids, like kind of thing. So we have a lot in common, and we're really, really close. And he always sits by me. I work from home part-time, and he sits by me and he does his work. And you know, he told me when he was 6, he's just like, I'm going to college, because I've been in graduate school pretty much since before he could remember. So all he knows is, oh, mom goes to college, so grown-ups go to college, and I want to be like mom, and I want to go to college. And it's just that he's like, just that's the way it is, you know, no questions, that's just the way it is. And he told me that he wants to go to Cal Poly so that he can work with me, which I know, I
So
cried.
sweet.
Yes. And then I got really worried because I was like, Cal Poly's great, but it's not ready for him or students like him that need beyond the basic accommodations, as a graduate student, I had accommodations there, and they were helpful, but they're very limited, to extra time on tests and a quiet space for tests. And I think they can help with a note taker, and some housing accommodations, which are great, but a lot of autists need more than that. And so that was another motivation for me was, all right, well, nobody's doing this, so I need to do this. And so I partner with our Disability Resource Center, and they're wonderful, and they're very supportive of the program, and they help me recruit students. And so it's basically the program I started is complements what's available through the DRC. So that's a little
Hey,
bit.
Luna. Well, first of all, thank you for sharing that story. I mean, there have been many guests on the show that have spoken about feeling a sense of relief and freedom through self-diagnosis, and that there's a place for that. And I think sometimes, people think, oh, well, if you haven't been formally diagnosed, you're not. So don't even think about it. But the reality is that many people who self-diagnose have done a lot of research, right? And that our current diagnostic system does not capture, I think, the variability in the diagnosis. The DSM is highly reductionistic and categorical. So that happens, but especially for women. And so thank you for sharing that and your motivations for this program. I wonder if we can back up just a little bit, because for those of you out there that don't understand or know what DSPS, or Luna, you were saying at Cal Poly, it's called
the Disability Resource Center.
Okay. So the Disability Resource Center, that every college and university has a disability center or support services. It might be called different things in different universities or colleges. And they're really responsible to help students receive accommodations under the ADA. And Luna is absolutely right, because they are limited. And I think in Luna's conversation of what she got, she told you the exhaustive list of what's available under the ADA, right? Which is a note taker, which in some universities, professors make their students choose a note taker, and then we can't access that, right? Because that's hard, because now you have to disclose, and that's difficult socially. And I mean, it's very loaded. Extended time, not usually more than 1.5 times. And then we've got maybe taking a test or a quiz or something in a quiet space. That's about it, unless you have hearing or visual impairments, in which materials can be given to you in different formats. But that is really about it. So, Luna, as you go through your undergrad and you reflect on your undergrad, and now you're a grad student, Luna creates this program, which, Luna, what do you have the full name is Empowering Autistic Scholars Mentoring and Research Training Program, but you call it what? You have a nickname. It's like a short nickname.
I call it the EASE program, because the full name is quite a mouthful. Yeah.
I kind of like ease, in the sense, like, you are easing, like you're trying to ease this experience in a way. It's like really cool. So tell us about what the program does. I love it. It's complementary to what Disability Services is providing. So tell us about it.
So one of the main aspects of EASE is to create an inclusive learning community, a place where our students can feel safe and seen and appreciated for themselves as they really are. So they don't have to mask, they don't have that exhaustion that's created by masking. They have people to ask questions of that are there to support them, actively support them. And so part of that is peer mentoring. And part of that is me, so they can come to me and I connect them with resources if they just want to vent, or if they have a question about this is going on with a professor, I don't know what to do. Can you please help? I'm also available if they need me to go to talk to a professor with them, or if they want me to talk to their somebody at the DRC with them, or things like that are kind of intimidating to do, especially the first time, and we also have social events so that they can come together and create friendships, and just do things that are fun. Not a lot of times students focus on grades, which are very important, obviously, but they kind of neglect their social lives. And it's important to have that aspect, to give yourself a break sometimes and go and talk to other people. And yeah, so we do like game nights and things like that. The students get to choose what they want to do. So we have food and everything, just hang out and talk and play games or do whatever. The students aren't forced to do anything. They can participate as much or as little as they want. We also have an exercise meetup every week, so students can go out and get some exercise with. And we have a study hall, so students can come and have somebody to study with and just hang out quietly and do their work together. Sometimes it's more motivating if there's somebody else there to provide accountability. But the goal is, a lot of the time even on the Cal Poly campus, it is very isolating because it's hard to meet other autists when people are afraid to disclose, so it's kind of our way. It's like, here is a place you can come. Everything about our program is confidential. So students can feel like, oh, I can participate, but I don't have to worry about my professors finding out, or my allistic peers finding out and judging me because I'm part of this program. The only people that are known to be in the program are the mentors. A lot of them, it's awesome, are actually autistic this year, which is amazing. And they're all disabled in one way or another and underrepresented. So it's very exciting because they understand where their mentees are coming from. Another big aspect is individualized supports. So we have different opportunities. So we have trainings on how to improve executive function skills, how to improve information literacy and research skills, creating goals, teaching learning strategies and classroom etiquette. So I teach also how to like professional development as well. So if students have questions about how to create a resume or prepare for an interview, if they need career advising. We have an anxiety support group for anyone who wants to join. Students can participate in a mindfulness meditation group, and we help teach, daily living skills. how to obtain accommodations and services on the campus and off the campus.
Nice.
So there's a lot of things that we offer, and the students can choose, you know, if they need them or not. And it's something that, like, if they decide later on, oh, this would be helpful, you know, they can do it. And it's not because being autistic, it's not one size fits all, right? It's like very individual. And so that was one of the things I wanted to offer. So the DRC is like, this is what we have available. This is what you get, you know. And for this, it's like, we have a lot of things available because we take a more holistic look at the whole person, you know, and offer things to them, and then they can pick and choose what's beneficial. And if there's something that we don't currently offer and the student thinks might be beneficial, then we can work together to try and get that for them. And then another thing that we also do that's a big focus of the program is professional development, because this program isn't just, we're going to help ease your transition to college and to academic success. It's a gateway to employment, because unfortunately, unemployment and underemployment rates for autists are terrible. And that's a whole nother conversation. It makes me really upset. Sorry, I'm laughing, but I'm actually really upset.
Yeah.
Because autists make wonderful employees if given the chance, you know, and accommodations for employment, they're very small and inexpensive. And it makes me very upset that the ableism in our society keeps employers from implementing them to help autists to succeed. So one of the things that we do in the EASE program is we explicitly teach students hard and soft skills that they are going to need to be successful. And we don't just teach them like, okay, here's a training, this is what you should do. We teach them, and then we give them opportunities to practice and get comfortable with it, by training them in how to do research, and then actually having them do a research project, a real world hands-on research project, where they work with myself and our faculty as advisors, and they're creating supports for other autists. So it's autistics doing autism research. And they get paid for it. They get paid as research assistants, so they can have that on their resume. They can use, they can create a presentation about the research work they've done and create a portfolio. One of the goals is to actually publish about this project, and the students will be named in the paper. So they'll also have that for their resume and their portfolio to be able to talk to employers and say, like, hey, these are the things that I've done. These are the things that I know how to do. And I've been successful at them, to really prove like they're more than capable, and they'll also have letters of reference or people to be contacted for references who are professors, professors and staff at Cal Poly, and this also learning these things will also benefit them before they graduate, right? Because you have to start preparing for a career way before you actually graduate college. So helping them to get internships or part-time or summer jobs while they're still in school that they can also use on their resumes and as additional skills that they can go to once they're interviewing. And so what I've done with the program is actually changed it. Originally, it was a 1-year program, and I realized that it was going to be way too much to do in 1 year for the students. So I've changed it to a 2-year program. So the first year of the program is focused on helping students with the transition, helping them get to a good point where they feel confident and they can handle all of their classes, and also, you know, they have that mentoring to kind of support them through everything. And then the second year is devoted to the professional development and the research training and the actual research project. And the students can stay in the program as long as they want. It's not, okay, it's 2 years and then you're done. You know, they might say in the third year, decide, well, I don't need a mentor, but I still want to participate in the social group or the anxiety support group or whatever, you know, that it's always open to them. All of these services are also open to the mentors, and all of these services are free to them as well. There aren't, unfortunately, I know there aren't very many of support programs specifically for autistic students in four-year universities in California. It's hopefully grown since then, but the last time I checked, it was 8. We are one of 8. Yeah, that was like 6 months ago or a year ago. So hopefully there's more since then. But and they're great programs, most of them. Some of them are specifically like peer mentoring, which is a huge help, and research has proven that it's very helpful for students, which is why we offer it as well. Some of them cost a lot. So that was one of the reasons why I was really trying to keep this program free for students. And one of the ways I was able to do that was through strategic partnerships with other departments and organizations on campus. And then again, you know, paying the students as research assistants, that's not common either. So
yeah. Yeah. You know, what's so great, Luna, is that, I mean, I think thematically, when I listen to you talking about this EASE program, the first word that comes to mind is belonging. You know, and, you know, we all know, you know, most of us know Maslow's hierarchy, you know, and I think so often parts of Maslow's hierarchy get flipped, right? It's like, well, you got to demonstrate X, Y, and Z before you belong here, right? When really it's not that way. We need to feel a sense not only of, you know, get our basic needs and and safety met, obviously, but belonging plays a foundational role in our ability to be comfortable and learn in our space. And so this idea of belonging, where you remove the bandwidth from asking, right? You remove the worry and the anxiety. It's already hard enough, right? Yeah. That now there's something left for other things. And so I love this kind of focus on belonging. You're doing social emotional kind of competencies as well as executive functioning competencies, but you've got this, hey, we're going to help you adjust to college life, and then we're going to prepare you for the world. Yeah. Right. And we just know, like, this population, this community, we need more time. We need more time. It is just part of it. And the last thing we need to do is force and pressure people that are already struggling. Like, it just doesn't make sense, you know?
Yeah.
So this is really fantastic. I mean, and the fact So it's not only that you have this place of belonging, at this level, because I think some of the clients that I work with, the complaint is, I don't look disabled enough to get help.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And so going back to belonging, I don't belong anywhere. Right. Because I don't belong here and I don't belong here. And I'm stuck in this place where I need support. So it's just lovely. It's lovely that you have this space, that it's free. That's crazy. It's crazy to me. It's so good because then you're solving the accessibility issue. And that's a big issue when it comes to our underrepresented populations, right? Accessing service, whether it's available, having it be available is one thing. Can you get it? That's a whole nother thing to solve. And yeah, you're right. We could maybe do a separate thing about under and unemployment, which is massive in with this community.
About 85%.
Yep. Those are the numbers I saw just recently as well. I keep checking those and they don't seem to be budging much, by the way, because they were 85% pre-COVID. Like they're not moving anywhere. And so anyway, Luna, this program, you created this program and it's a model, right? This program is a model and it's like, hey, I like this kind of, here are the things that we know this community may need help with. And you come into this community and you can pick and choose based on what your individualized needs are, what it is you feel you need, right?
Yes.
One of 8 programs this needs to be at every college and university.
Yeah.
Short of someone having it be, for you, it was like, I got to make a difference here. Like, you're the one that created this based on your own lived experiences.
Yeah.
If someone's listening to this, maybe they're from a different university, somewhere, it doesn't just have to be in California. Can the model be replicated at a different campus?
Yes. The way I've designed it is it can be replicated, and that is the goal, is that once, I've really got it to a good place and I am doing, assessment and we'll be doing evaluation on it to get it as strong as possible. I will also have all of the documents, have like all the forms available and kind of an operations manual for the program that I will share. So it's going to be free for anyone who wants it. And it's scalable. So right now, I went and got grant funding for the program so that I can offer, the social events and then everything and pay the students. Most of the money goes to paying the students for their doing research and also the mentors. But the program can be done without any money. So there is that ability. It can also be scaled up. So if you're lucky enough to be at a college that has a lot of funding for this, it can be scaled up so that you can have a lot more students participating. Right now, I have 7 students and 7 mentors because that's what the grant funding covers. Hopefully, we'll get a larger grant soon and then can increase the number of students that we support. But yeah, that's the goal, is to make it so that anyone can do it and to say, here, I know you're busy and you don't have time to do the research, or you don't have, a staff member to do it. You don't have to do all of that work. Here's everything you need to start a program. Tweak it to fit the needs of your students in particular, your funding level, but it's available to you for free. And if you have questions, I'm here to answer questions. Yeah, that's one of the goals is to have it kind of spread around the country, because our students need support. And what are their options are very limited. So there's amazing support programs, especially on the East Coast, and some in the northern US. But then for people that live on the West Coast, then you have like, all right, so the options are limited in California, then my child has to go to New York, to get into a great a program that has these supports. And then the college student doesn't have any local support from family or friends, and that makes it difficult. So hopefully being able to take this program and spread it around so that people are able to stay closer to their families if they want to, or if they need to, but yeah, college should be an amazing experience for everyone. There's so many opportunities there, and you're really coming into your own as a young adult and getting to know yourself and what you like and what you want to do in the future. And life's hard enough. Like, let's provide a little bit of support so that our students can be happy and confident and enjoy college, and get to the point where they can then, when they graduate, go and get a job that they love to do.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yes. It's this idea of, thriving instead of surviving,
Totally, yeah.
and, that survival mode only lasts so long. And now we hit a burnout, and lots of things trickle down and out from there that are really challenging. And so providing more support from the get-go is great. It's great, Luna. Hey, Luna, if someone's interested in finding out more about this program, what is the best way to find out about it?
So they can go to our website, which is it's a little bit long.
That's okay.
laes.calpoly.edu /empowering autistic scholars EAS program.
Got it. You know what I'll do for everybody? I'll put that in the show notes or the description, depending on where you're, accessing this episode, but I'll do that. Luna, thank you. Thank you so much for your vulnerability and for your care and concern and putting your energies into a space that supports others. I want to thank you so much for that and for being on the show today.
Thank you so much. Our community is amazing, and they deserve to be happy. And whatever I can do to help, that's what I want to do. So
awesome.
thank you for
Thank
having me.
you. Thanks, Luna.